how are you today, ma'am?
Of course, I'm good. How about you, sir?
I'm okay lang naman, ma'am. Pero isipin mo, di ba, sa loob ng isang taon, ang daming nangyari.
Oo, di ba? Lalo na nung kasagsagan ng pandemya. Okay, so I think with that, panoorin natin ngayon yung mga pangyayari noong nakaraang semestre.
Mga naging paghahanda ng bawat kawani ng Midway College. Sama-sama nating tunghayan ang mga naging kaganapan bilang paghahanda sa magaganap na online class. Country needs perseverance, discipline, and determination. We ensure that our students develop these qualities.
In this time of pandemic, let us add love, subtract negativities, divide work, and multiply happiness.
Idinasad ng Midway Colleges ang kauna-unahang kamustahan with the parents itong Sabado, September 26, 2020 sa ganap ng alas 3 ng hapon.
In the wake of COVID-19 pandemic, online classes and homeschooling are the new normal in education. How does physical activity fit into this new mode of learning? Physical exercise is a cheap, easy to access, and safe option to be incorporated into the routine of the parent.
Instead of using technology nowadays in teaching and learning as a pedagogical approach has been one of the helpful aids during this pandemic. Let us uninstall the negative effect of COVID-19 and restart in the new normal of learning.
That's it for this week's update. Remember that in everything we do, we must always give our best and strive for excellence.
Okay, so sir, after watching that video, I just realized that you're actually one of the casters last time.
Yes, ma'am.
So I just want to ask, what were your experiences during those times, lalo na at nasa kalagitnaan tayo ng pandemya?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, it's very challenging. Kasi ikaw na teacher na sanay ka sa isang traditional na face-to-face, tapos bigla tayo magta-transition sa isang online classes. Pero despite of that situation na nangyari nga, Midway Colleges continue to push forward and we remain strong.
So sir, hindi naman maipagkakaila na talagang napakalaking pagbabago ang inihatid sa atin kung hindi natin inaasahang pandemya. So sir, gusto ko lang malaman at gusto ko din i-share sa ating mga viewers kung paano bang naghanda itong si Midway Colleges para dito sa new learning modality.
Yes, ma'am. So actually, noong nitong June at July pa lamang po, yung administration ng Midway and for the teachers as well, plinano na po ng maayos. So with that planning na nangyari, meron po tayong partner na company para sa ating online learning. Ito po yung sa Audentes Technology and itong Microsoft.
Okay, so with that, it is very expected that you have a lot of trainings and seminars to attend to for you to be able to adopt this new learning modality.
Yes, ma'am.
That was great, sir. So, yun nga, with that particular platform, yung MS Teams, I heard that you were able to conduct a virtual celebration of buwan ng Pikang Pakasal, tama ba, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so with that, ano po yung ibang mga celebration na ginawa niyo or tinandak dito sa Midway Colleges using that platform?
Actually, using that platform, ang daming activities na nangyari na nakarang semestre. Unang-una dito, ito yung first virtual foundation day. Then, after ng first virtual foundation day na yon, nagkaroon din po tayo ng first virtual quiz bee o yung tagis tuno. So, dito sa virtual quiz bee na ito, ma'am, nagkaroon ng showcase ang mga bawat student ng kanilang kapasidad at kanilang mga kaalaman. Dagdag pa rito sa virtual quiz din na ito ay itong first ever na virtual acquaintance party.
So, I think napakalaking tulong itong si MS Teams para sa atin, lalo na dito sa Midway Colleges. Kasi at least nakakapag-reach out tayo sa mga estudyante or sa mga estudyante natin at ibang mga empleyado dito using that platform.
Yes, ma'am.
And then, aside from that, I also heard that last November, the Driven channel was launched. That was last, Sir Ash.
Yes, ma'am. November doon po nilaunch yung ating YouTube channel ng Twin Channel. Then also, nitong December, nagkaroon po tayo ng virtual concert.
So, with those being said, sir, I think this is actually a year full of challenges.
But it's been a year full of hope, love, and family. At Midway Colleges, always endure.
We are strong.
We are driven.
So ngayon, dahil sa Midway, nakamit ko yung pangarap ko na maging seaman at makatulong sa magulang.
Nakarating na ako ng Japan, Spain, Middle East, Europe, Russia, South America, Brazil, Argentina, Puerto Rico, at marami pang iba.
Nakabili ako ng sasakyan at 2 bahay at farm. So dahil sa Midway, proud ako.
Ang nagustuhan ko sa Midway ay isang hindi lang para sa mayaman, kundi para sa mahihirap din.
Ang mga bansang napunta ko na 7 continents, Europe, Asia, Australia, saan-saan.
Natulungan ko yung magulang ko, mga kapatid ko, at yun nga, nakapagpatayo ko ng mga bahay at saka may sarili na rin akong sasakyan.
Ang Midway ay isang tulay sa pangarap mo. Kasi dahil sa Midway, natupad ko yung mga pangarap ko.
Sa Midway ay masaya at yayaman ka.
Mag-aaral na kayo sa Midway, marami kayong matututunan, enjoy ka pa.
Sa Midway, may trabaho ka agad.
Midway Colleges is a non-stop, non-profit institution and is acknowledged as the pioneer maritime higher educational institution in Nueva Ecija. It offers full maritime education recognized by the Commission on Higher Education and the Maritime Industry Authority. Likewise, it offers technical vocational courses duly accredited by the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority. In 2016, Midway welcomed its first class of senior high school in partnership with the Department of Education. 2 years later, it also offered the newly approved programs recognized by CHED, such as Bachelor of Science in Information Systems, Bachelor of Science in Entrepreneurship, and Bachelor of Technical Vocational Teacher Education, major in Food and Service Management. Committed to deliver the highest quality of service, it is ISO 9001:2015 certified. Midway Colleges envisions to be a leading educational institution in the diverse society of values-centered, proactive, and global citizens. It is dedicated in providing transformative education, which promotes spiritual growth, instills national pride, advocates environmental stewardship, and upholds virtues for lifelong learning.
Together with us this afternoon is someone I know that you're all very familiar with. We invited a very special guest.
He is the Student Government President. Please welcome Midshipman Roland Legaspi. Good afternoon, Mr. Legaspi. It was great having you here.
How are you, Mr. Legaspi? And what did you do during the pandemic?
Doing very okay. And as for what I did during the pandemic, I focus more on physical exercises and physical study.
Okay, halata naman sa physical appearance mo pa rin na nakakalaki ng pagbabago.
Thank you, sir.
Sana po.
Okay, so with that, we would like to know and we would like to share with our viewers what is your initial reaction when you heard that Midway College's continue to offer.
So, ma'am, regarding your question, ma'am, about how I reacted, of course, initially I was surprised that Midway would be able to continue with regards to the pandemic. But of course, I was looking forward as well that we are going to be able to continue our education and further enhance the strength of the institution as a whole, ma'am, because we are pushing through with the academic standards despite the pandemic going on.
So thank you so much for that, Mr. Legaspi. Another thing is that we would also like to know how did you adjust in the new modality of learning, since we all know that this is very new, not only to you but to all of us here.
With due regards to the adjusting to the modality of the learning group or the learning itself, as a student, ma'am, of course, we have to adapt to the online world, which is at first very much difficult due to the unstable connections here in the Philippines as it is.
Yeah.
But of course, we can learn to adapt to it and overcome it. Of course, there's the MS Teams, which was offered to us as well. And it is very helpful that it includes a recording session in which you can record everything in case that the student missed the actual synchronous session. And therefore, it gives us the ability to adapt, as well as I am speaking for myself also, ma'am, because I as well am suffering from unstable internet connection from time to time.
Actually, based from Mr. Legaspi have mentioned, everyone is experiencing the hardship of this new modality of learning. Not just for the students, for the teachers, and also for the parents of these students. Because for sure, these students doesn't have the capability to have a stable internet connection, then the availability of the devices. As much as well for the teachers, because we teachers, we were trained for the face-to-face classes, but in one snap, we transitioned from a online class. So yes, it's very wide and a fast-paced transition for everyone.
But it's good. But it's good that actually we've gone this far. So that was good.
Yes, it's still a great process kasi we adapted to the change, which is good. So I have the next question for you, Mr. Legaspi, as a student council president naman. So my question is, what do you think about this new education or this new learning, this new form of education for you and for your co-students?
With regards to us as students, sir, and as the president of Midway Colleges, of course, the student is experiencing an evolution of their learning curve. This is quite a challenge as well, and something that the student must look forward to, because we are maybe deep in the pandemic, but we are reaching our goals to learn the continuous learning of students and to achieve their goals, sir. So as much as possible, I want the students also to appreciate it as much as we do, despite the challenges that it imposes to the students.
Okay, very good. So I'd like to add is that each one of us should appreciate and embrace the change that we are in right now. So follow-up question, Mr. Legaspi. Aside from the theories, principles, and the lessons that you have learned in our online classes, what do you consider as the important learning the pandemic has taught you which your fellow students can relate?
Actually, sir, that is a very good question. With regards to what the students can learn, for me, it was discussed on one of our webinars, sir. It is the proper etiquette. To be able to show respect to others, even in an online environment, that is something very important. You have to consider what the other person is rather receiving from you, information or your own expressions receiving from you. Is it respectable or not? So, as to my fellow students, let us present ourselves as somewhat giving respect to others, even in an online environment. That is very important. And as a human being, it is very much important to give respect to other humans.
Thank you so much, Mr. Legaspi, for raising that. Yes, indeed, this is one of the issues that we should address when it comes to online classes, the proper etiquette, since students and teachers will interact using online platforms, and therefore they must be knowledgeable on how to properly use that, and of course with appropriate manner and such. So to wrap it up, Mr. Legaspi, what is your message to your classmates and to all the students of Midway Colleges?
Of course, a very good day to my fellow students. I know we are experiencing trying times right now and we are adapting. Also, we are learning. We are learning and we are overcoming this challenge that is the pandemic itself. So as students, let's move forward for a better future for not just us, but for the betterment of everyone around us as well. Give respect to others and respect also yourself. And lastly, let us inculcate the word driven in our hearts, even in the times of the pandemic.
Thank you so much, Mr. Legaspi. It was once again nice having you here.
Bye. Struggling as a student and kaya natin to. Okay, sir.
So ngayon, dahil sa Midway, nakamit ko yung pangarap ko na maging seaman at makatulong sa magulang. Nakarating na ako ng Japan, Spain, Middle East, Europe, Russia, South America, Brazil, Argentina, Puerto Rico, at marami pang iba.
Nakabili ako ng sasakyan at 2 bahay at farm. So dahil sa Midway, proud ako.
Ang nagustuhan ko sa Midway ay isang hindi lang para sa mayaman, kundi para sa mahihirap din.
Ang mga bansang napunta ko na 7 continents, Europe, Asia, Australia, saan-saan.
Natulungan ko yung magulang ko, mga kapatid ko. At yun nga, nakapagpatayo ko ng mga bahay at saka may sarili na rin ako sasakyan.
Ang Midway ay isang tulay sa pangarap mo. Kasi dahil sa Midway, natupad ko yung mga pangarap ko.
Sa Midway ay masaya at yayaman ka.
Mag-aaral na kayo sa Midway, marami kayong matututunan, enjoy ka pa.
Sa Midway, may trabaho ka agad.
Midway Colleges is a non-stop, non-profit institution and is acknowledged as the pioneer maritime higher educational institution in Nueva Ecija. It offers full maritime education recognized by the Commission on Higher Education and the Maritime Industry Authority. Likewise, it offers technical vocational courses duly accredited by the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority. In 2016, Midway welcomed its first class of senior high school in partnership with the Department of Education. 2 years later, it also offered the newly approved programs recognized by CHED, such as Bachelor of Science in Information Systems, Bachelor of Science in Entrepreneurship, and Bachelor of Technical Vocational Teacher Education, major in Food and Service Management. Committed to deliver the highest quality of service, It is ISO 9001-2015 certified. Midway Colleges envisions to be a leading educational institution in the diverse society of value-centered, proactive, and global citizens. It is dedicated in providing transformative education, which promotes spiritual growth, instills national pride, advocates environmental stewardship, and upholds virtues for lifelong learning.
To avoid conflicts, harassments, and negative way of thinking, we decided to conduct this short, relevant, and informative interview together with one of our instructors. I know that this topic is something that you all can relate to.
So without further ado, let me introduce to you our guest for today, Ms. Irene Joy Lucas.
Hi, Ma'am Lucas. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir.
Kamusta ka ba?
Okay naman, sir.
Sure?
Sure na sure.
Parang napilitan ata to si Ma'am Lucas
Hindi
sa atin.
yata tayo sure dyan.
Okay tayo, we're all
Okay, so...
Napilitan sa atin, okay.
Hinilit maging okay.
Okay. So yun, proceed ma'am.
Oh, sige. This is my part now. Okay. So, this one, Ma'am Sandra, we would like to thank you for allowing us to have an interview today. So, shall we start, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
So, as we all know, our students nowadays are very fond of using their social media accounts. And actually, not just the students, but as well, right?
Yes.
So, I think, ma'am, I would like to know, and we would like to share with our viewers, what are the things that they have to remember when they are using their social media accounts?
So to answer that question, ma'am, I have one sentence for them to remember. That sentence is be selective. So first one, be selective of their language. So when they are using social media, they should always speak kindly, respectfully, and if needed, formally. So like for example, they should refrain from using all caps when they are on social media, because as we all know, the use of words with all the letters in capitalized are a form of internet yelling. It's a form of internet yelling. So kapag po nag-all caps ka, basically sinisigawan mo yung kausap mo. So that's one thing they should avoid. And they should always speak with respect and always think of the words that they are going to use. Kasi po, it can be as sharp as the way we say it, di ba? Pag nagsasalita tayo, sabi nila the tongue daw po is very sharp.
Yes.
Same goes with when we are typing. Same lang yung impact niya, the same na nakakasakit. So, we should always think of the words that we're going to use. Because sabi nga po nila, when we are on social media, screen man po yung kaharap natin, but there's always a receiving person and the receiving end. So, number 2 po is yung be selective of what you post. Be selective of what you post, even if that's pictures, videos. So, dapat lagi natin iisipin, if yung i-upload natin, are we comfortable with them seeing this if it's face-to-face? Kasi pag social media, iba, it's just pictures, it's just videos. Pero ito kasi same din siya ng impact as it is in face-to-face. So, we should always think about the consequences when we are posting, uploading photos or videos online. And then number 3 po is we should always be selective of who we share our passwords with.
Of course.
So, diba, it's very important for us to be for our passwords to remain confidential, because it's our access to like websites, sometimes even bank accounts. So you should always remember na we should not share it kahit po those with the person that we really trust. Kasi as we all know, even though we trust someone a lot, even the person that you trust mostly can sometimes stab us in the back, right?
Are we still in the topic, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, we're still in the topic.
Oh, I'm just trying to clarify.
And lastly, ma'am, we should always be selective of what we click and who we reply with. So, firstly, di ba po kapag meron tayong mga sites or sometimes yung mga clickbaits, we should always be selective yung mga kiniklik natin, because sabi ko nga, it can be a clickbait. It can be like virus sometimes, or minsan scam, hindi natin po alam kung ano po yung mga kiniklik natin. So, tignan po muna natin if it's a credible source yung mga kiniklik natin. Same goes with who we reply with. Kasi po, social media, sabi nga nila, daming pwedeng gawin sa'yo kapag ka nagre-reply ka with a stranger. So, as much as possible, do not reply with a stranger.
So yun mga ka-driven, always be selective with your language. Be careful what you're posting. And then third, as said by Ma'am Lucas, be careful who you share your passwords with. And then for the last one, you should always be careful on what you're clicking and whom you're replying to when you are using your social media accounts.
So based from what Ms. Lucas have said or discussed really about the social media etiquette, now I have a follow-up question for you, Sai. So my follow-up question is related to the social etiquette and cyberbullying. So how can we prevent cyberbullying?
So in order to prevent cyberbullying, the first thing that we should do is we should educate ourselves. So first one, we should know what cyberbullying is, what it covers, and then what are the types of cyberbullying and how we should handle it. Because there are cases po na we are already encountering cyberbullying, but we are not aware of it. And then the next thing that we should do after we educate ourselves is that we should educate others as well. We should raise awareness of cyberbullying so they would know din po how to handle and what cyberbullying is. So para sila din alam nila if they're already experiencing cyberbullying. And lastly, but this is the most important, is we should not be or do not be cyberbullying yourself.
Thank you, Ma'am Zai, for that answer regarding prevention for cyberbullying. But I just want to add something based from what Zai have discussed, that if you saw a bully or a cyberbully, never tolerate their actions. Kasi once we tolerate them based from what they are posting online, meaning to say you are protecting him based from his or her actions.
So in general, I would like to remind again everyone that everything that we post in social media, even if we delete it, can be used, can be copied and altered in different situations and in different contexts, even without our consent.
Yes, ma'am, that's right. That's why we have reminded that everything we post in our social media accounts can actually be used against us. So that was a very informative discussion on site. So do you have anything to leave with our viewers?
Okay, so lastly, I would like to remind everyone to think before you click and pause before you post.
Once again, Ma'am Sai, thank you for having here with us and sharing us your experience. Thank you so much, mga ka-driven, for tuning in. This has been your host. I am Ma'am Aya.
And this is Sir Ash. See you on our next episode, mga ka-driven. Bye!